what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brothers and sisters, rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served, worship, or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu Alaikum. We have Brother Mustafa and Sister Sharice Ali from Ohio. We have Captain Shabay Allah from New York. We have Brother Wali Muhammad from Louisiana. We have Brother Muhammad Rashid from Brooklyn. We have Brother Muta Kabir Ali from New Jersey. We have Minister Jabran Rashid from Chicago. And we have Sister Zakiya Kareem from Detroit. And I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum. Today, we like to talk about the God of Israel versus the God of Jesus. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that there are two gods on the scene today. We have the God of righteousness and the God of wickedness. This right here is a picture of the white man drawing Jacob wrestling with the angel. And when we see these pictures that the white man used to draw, he always would draw the angels with wings. Because the messenger says that the white race tries to hide the truth from the black man. Because the messenger taught us, he said that Allah made a deal with the devil. This comes from the July 28th, 1967, Muhammad Speaks. It says, but he should remember there was an agreement made between his father and Allah after he prayed to God to let him live and that his identity be kept secret until the day of resurrection, and this prayer was granted. So the messenger quotes the Holy Quran, chapter 7, verse 14. It says, he said, respite me till the day when they are raised. It says, he, Allah, said, thou art surely of the respited ones. As thou hast adjudged me to be erring, I will certainly lie in wait for them in thy straight paths. Then he, Allah, said, get out of it, despised, driven away, whoever of them will follow thee, I will certainly fill hell with you all. Yes, so this is the devil making a deal with God to keep his identity hidden until the resurrection. And in 2 Thessalonians, it talks about the man of sin being revealed. This is the whole white race. Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir. So the white race is not teaching us the straight truth. The messenger said they put the truth under symbols. So when the white man is showing us Jacob wrestling with the angel, the question is, who does the angel represent? And who does Jacob represent? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the angel represents the aboriginal black nation of the planet Earth, the original owners of the earth. And Jacob is Yacub. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that Yacub is the god of evil. That's Yacub. But the messenger said that Yacub was not an actual devil himself. But he said that since Yacub was born with the determined idea to grab the devil to rule the black man, he said he gets credit for them. So his title sometimes is called the devil. That's Yacub. Yes, sir. So we're going to talk about the real history of Yacub, and then we're going to talk about Yacub in the Bible. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that 15,000 years ago, 23 wise black scientists saw or predicted the birth of Yacub. Because the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, said that we have a different calendar year than the white race. He said that the white race has their calendar set based on their doom. Yes, sir. That's their calendar is set based on their doom. It was a song that Prince made. And he said in this song, I'm going to party like it's 1999. Yes, sir. Because it used to be said that in the year 2000, that's when Jesus was supposed to come back. That's the destruction of the white race. Yes, sir. So they used to say, or had everybody believing, the year 2000 was it. So in the 80s, Prince made the song and said, I'm going to party like it's the end. 1999. Yes, sir. So that's how the white race has their calendar set, based on their destruction. But the messenger said that the black man, the aboriginal black nation of the earth, sets his calendar based on his home circumference. Right. Yes, sir. The messenger said 1 year per mile. The circumference of the planet Earth is 24,896 miles, approximately 25,000 miles. So this is how the black man makes his history, to equal his home circumference. And once that history expires, he renews it for another 25,000 years. Yes, sir, that's right. So the black man, 15,000 years ago, in the year 1 of our calendar history of 25,000 years, the messenger said 23 wise black scientists predicted the birth of Yacub. He said that they knew that Yacub would be born 20 miles outside of the present holy city Mecca. Yes, sir. The messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, also said that they knew that during the time of Yacub, there would be 70% satisfied and 30% dissatisfied with the present rule. So they said that Yacub would be born out of the 30% dissatisfied.
Yes, sir.
So he said that the scientists knew that Yacub would be born to change our civilization. They knew that Yacub would make a new man to rule the black man for 6,000 years.
Yes, sir.
From the 9,000 year to the 15,000 year. So the messenger said the black scientists also knew that the black nation, after this 6,000 years, would produce one whose wisdom, knowledge, and power would be infinite.
Yes, sir.
That one would destroy the civilization of Yacub. He said this one is the one that the prophets or the scientists saw that is the greatest God, the most powerful God since the creation of the universe.
Yes, sir.
He says in the Bible they often call him Jehovah or God Almighty. That one God is Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir.
Praise is due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
So this, when they show us, this is Jacob or Yacub wrestling with the original black man. This is who it is. The rulers of the universe. So the messenger said that when Yacub was wrestling with the angel, he said the angel pleaded with Yacub to stop. So Yacub told him, I will not stop until you bless me.
Yes, sir.
So he said Yacub was robbing the angel, forcing the angel to do what the angel did not want to do. So this is how the messenger says the white race, Israel, this is how they rule the black man today, by force.
Yes, sir.
The messenger says that the white race, or Israel, rules 9/10 of the present population of the planet Earth. And they rule us by force. Not willingly, but by force. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad goes on to teach us about Yacub. He said that when Yacub was 6 years old, he was playing with 2 pieces of steel. He said that Yacub saw that one of the pieces of steel had magnetic in it, and the other piece didn't. So he said that Yacub noticed that the one piece with magnetic attracted the other piece under its power.
Yes, sir.
So the messenger said Yacub at that point realized what he was born to do. So he said that Yacub looked at his uncle and said, Uncle, when I become an old man, I'm going to make a people to rule you. So the messenger said Yacub's uncle looked back at him and said, what will you make? But something that will cause mischief and shed blood in the land.
Yes, sir.
That was Yacub's uncle. So this conversation that Yacub and his uncle had, the messenger taught us is recorded in the Holy Quran. It's chapter 2, verse 30. It says, and when thy Lord said to the angels, I am going to place a ruler in the earth, they said, wilt thou place in it such as make mischief in it and shed blood? And we celebrate thy praise and extol thy holiness. He says, surely I know what you know not.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that is Yacub talking to his uncle, saying to the angels, I will place in the earth a ruler. All of them know what you going to place in it, but somebody that's going to cause mischief and shed blood. This is Yacub or Israel wrestling with the angel.
Yes, sir.
The messenger said that the white race has been wrestling with the angel for 6,000 years.
Yes, sir.
This is Yacub. But they have it under symbol. Yacub, the wise black scientist of the original black nation, is the god of evil.
That's right. Yes, sir.
He is the one who grafted the white race from the black man.
Yes, sir.
He was wrestling with the black man, the messenger said, all night long. But the messenger say when daybreak comes, Jacob had to let go. And daybreak represents the truth.
Yes, sir.
When truth comes, Yacub and his civilization must let go.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to go even further with Jesus. Because Jesus also knew the history of Yacub. This comes from John 8, 42 through 44. Jesus told the Jews, it says, Jesus said unto them, if God were your father, ye would love me.
Yes, sir.
So Jesus is talking about the God of righteousness. If the God of righteousness was your father, you would love me.
That's right. Yes, sir.
He said, for I proceeded forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. He says, why do ye not understand my speech? Even because ye cannot hear my words. Then he says, ye are of your father, the devil. That's talking about Yacub,
Yes, sir.
or in the Bible, Jacob. You are your father, Yacub, or the devil. The scientist who grafted you. He is your father.
Yes, sir.
You are of your father, the devil. He says, and the lust of your father ye will do. What is the lust of their father? The messenger says Jesus answers his own question. It says he was a murderer from the beginning. Because the messenger taught us, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said to graft white from black. He said you must destroy the black.
Yes, sir.
That's what Yacub did on the island of Pilar called Patmos in the Bible. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that Yacub set up a birth control law. A birth control law to kill all the black babies. So Yacub had to destroy all the black, the messenger said, for 200 years. Then Yacub had a brown race of people. But the first thing he had to do was destroy the black. So the messenger said after they had a brown race of people, another 200 years to destroy the brown. So the messenger said they had a yellow race of people. Another 200 years to destroy all the yellow. Then you get white. A blonde-haired, blue-eyed devil. These are Yacub's crafted devils.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To make a white man, you must first start by grafting. Grafting from the origin. And to graft the white, you must destroy the black.
Yes, sir.
So this is Yacub wrestling with the angel. The original black man. The owners of the planet Earth. The black man was on the best part of the planet Earth when Yacub was wrestling with the angel. We lived on the best part.
Yes, sir.
But Yacub's crafted devil stole the best part by force. Just like Jacob did to the angel. The angel pleaded, let me go. Yacub said, no, not until you bless me.
Yes, sir.
So he robbed the angel. Jesus told them, your father was a murderer from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
The beginning of what? Not from the beginning of the black man, but from your beginning. He was a murderer from the beginning. Because the white man has a beginning. His beginning was 6,000 years ago. That was his beginning. Yacub was a murderer from the beginning. On the island of Pelan called Patmos in the Bible, Yacub had to destroy all the black to get to the brown. He had to destroy all the brown to get to the yellow. He had to destroy all the yellow to get to the white. When he got to the white, the white man was no more original. He was weak and wicked.
Yes, sir.
That's the whole white race. Ready to do to a lot.
Right. Yes, sir.
So he goes on to say, it says, he was a murderer from the beginning, and he abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. For he is a liar and the father of it. What kind of lies is Yacub the father of?
Yes, sir.
The messenger said Yacub taught the white race trick knowledge.
That's right. Yes, sir.
That was the tricks and lies that Yacub taught his race. He taught them trick knowledge. That is a science, the messenger said. The science of tricks and lies.
Yes, sir.
Yacub taught the white race how to master the original man. Yacub wrestling with the angel. The white man put the truth under symbols to hide the truth from the black man.
Yes, sir.
So the messenger taught us. He said Israel is not a good name. That was the message.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the message. He taught us that Israel is not a good name. And he taught us this Savior's Day, 1967. This comes from the March 17, 1967, Muhammad speaks. And it says, God has raised me in the midst of you to interpret for you.
Yes, sir.
This was Savior's Day 1967. The messenger broke down Yacub wrestling with the angel.
Yes, sir.
So the messenger says in this lecture, he says, I want you to remember the name Israel. Don't think Israel is a good name. Israel is not a good name. Israel is an evil name. The name Israel is an evil name. Because when Yacub was wrestling with the angel, he was wrestling with the original black man for rulership of the planet Earth. That's what he was wrestling with the black man for. So Yacub's crafted devil would rule us by force, rule us by murdering, and rule us by lies.
Yes, sir.
That's why Jesus said, your father is the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. The messenger said that when Yacub was grafting the white race, and they murdered all the black babies, that put murder in the nature of the white man. Because that was the atmosphere he was born in. So it put it in his nature to hate and murder the black man. Since the nurses lied to the mother in their birth control law, this put lying in the nature of the black or the white man. So that's why Jesus said he's a liar and the father of lies.
Yes, sir.
So then the messenger taught us in Revelations. This is Revelations 12, verse 9. It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him.
Yes, sir.
So they come to deceive the whole world. This is what Jesus was talking about. He said, he the father of lies, and the lust of your father ye will do. So the people who you will rule them on the tricks and lies, because the lust of your father ye will do.
Yes, sir.
He was a murderer, so you will be a murderer.
That's right.
Murder of the black man. So this goes on. Let's look at what the white man says that Israel means. This comes from Ancestry.com. It says, from the Hebrew male personal name, Yisrael, it means fighter of God.
Yes, sir.
That's even what the white man said. Fighter of God. But what God? He's not the fighter of the God of evil. He's the fighter of the God of righteousness.
Yes, sir.
That's what the name Israel means. Jacob got the name Israel by wrestling with the original black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, and the God of the universe.
Right. Yes, sir. That's right.
They do to a lot.
Yes, sir.
So when it says that Israel is a fighter of God, he's a fighter of the black man. He's a fighter of the original nation of the planet Earth.
Yes, sir.
So this one was one that I like. This one was an old Jew who was explaining to the people what Israel means. So the old Jew didn't say that Israel means a fighter of God. He didn't say that. Because saying that Israel is a fighter of God, that sounds too hard. So he said that Israel means one who struggles with God. Because struggle sounds a little bit more soft than you just a fighter of God.
Yes, sir.
So in this Jew, he said we Israelites, or we the Jews, he said we don't have a passive obedience to God. He said we have a relationship of confrontation. It's the old Jew,
Yes, sir.
the real Israelite. Because the black Israelite is the fake Israelite.
Yes, sir.
But the Jew, Netanyahu, Donald Trump,
Yes, sir.
Bill Gates, Joe Biden, those are the real Israelites.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
Praise
right.
due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
They are the ones who fighting with God. They fighting with the laws of God. Because in Islam, Islam means entire submission to the will of Allah.
That's right.
But to be an Israelite, it say you a fighter of God. You struggle with God. So what prophet was an Israelite? If the name Israel means a fighter of God, one who struggles with God, what prophet was an Israelite? Let's talk about Job. The devil was going up and down and to and fro in the earth, looking for some people to devour. God said, have you tried my servant Job? That's what God said to the devil. He gave Job to the devil and said, have you tried him? Because the messenger said, we all will be tried.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Because we all come to Allah in submission as a servant of Allah. You don't come to Allah talking about you struggle. Or you having some confrontation with the all wise, true and living God? If you are a fighter of God, then God is an adversary to you. And you are an adversary to God. So Job, in the Bible it says Job was sinless. Job was a righteous servant of Allah. But to trust Job, to show the devil how submissive Job was to Allah, how much he was a Muslim, one who submits his will entirely to do the will of Allah.
Yes, sir.
God said, try Job. So the devil said, you got all this protection around Job. If you give me or move that fence you got around Job, I'll have him curse you. Say you go ahead and do what you want to do to Job. So Job was getting tried. Job didn't understand, why am I getting tried? I'm a righteous servant of Allah. What have I done? So Job's wife, after countless trials that Job was going through, Job's wife said, curse your God and die. That's what he told Job. But Job was a Muslim, one who submits his or her will entirely to do the will of Allah. So Job said to God, he said, yea, though ye slay me, yet will I trust him. That was Job.
Yes, sir.
Job was a Muslim. Job wasn't no Israelite. An Israelite would have fought God. Why are you doing this to me? I'm righteous. I'm good. I did nothing to deserve this. But Job was a Muslim.
Yes, sir.
One who submit his or her will entirely to do the will of Allah. And you look at the story of Job, Job was the winner.
Yes, sir.
After submitting his will to do the will of Allah.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about another prophet that was not an Israelite. Let's talk about Abraham. Abraham wanted a son. God promised Abraham a son. And according to the Bible, Isaac was the promised son. You just go with what they say. God promised Abraham Isaac. He was the son that, according to the Bible, they say Abraham was waiting for. Abraham was an old man waiting hundreds of years for Isaac. So he finally gets Isaac. After Sarah couldn't have babies, all this time dealing with Hagar, God finally allowed Sarah to become pregnant and have a son. Then God told Abraham to sacrifice his son, showing that Abraham was a Muslim. This is the son I've been waiting years to get. My wife couldn't have a baby. We prayed to Allah, waited years to get this son. God finally gave me the son and tell me to sacrifice my own son. So they say Abraham had a knife ready to cut Isaac's head off. Then the angel came and showed him a ram in the bush. So then God told Abraham to sacrifice the ram instead of his son. Abraham submitted to the will of Allah. Abraham was not an Israelite. Because to be an Israelite, it means to fight with God. Let's talk about Jesus. According to the Christians, he's the best prophet that ever lived. Sinless, immaculate conception and all that. According to them. So Jesus was getting down to the end of his life. He saw that he might have to die. So Jesus prayed and said, let this cup pass from me. They say Jesus was praying so hard, blood started dripping from his brow. This was Jesus, a Muslim, but he didn't want to die. Like who wants to die? So he said, let this cup pass. But Jesus said, not my will, but thy will be done.
Yes, sir.
That's a Muslim. One who submit his or her will to do the will of Allah. So when God changed Yacub's name to Israel, this name was not a good name. This name was an evil name for an evil nation.
Yes, sir.
An evil nation that was going to rule the black man with tricks and lies. Who was going to rule the black man by murder. Rule the black man with injustice. So Jesus, he said that God comes for the lost sheep in the house of Israel. It ain't talking about an Israelite. The messenger said it talks about a people who are completely different from the Israelites. Because Jacob wrestled with the angel. He robbed the angel.
Right. Yes,
He stole everything that the angel owned. But Jesus prophesied and said that God comes for the lost sheep in the house of Israel. In the house of these racist, blue-eyed devils. That's the whole white race.
right. Yes, sir.
So the messenger said that God came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, July 4th, 1930. Because the messenger said that God had to search for his sheep. It wasn't no thing that it was some spook or some spirit that came to save the black man. It said that the lost sheep had to be searched for. So the messenger said that Master Farad Muhammad came in and out of America for 20 years before he made himself known to us. He said that Master Farad Muhammad went to every known civilization searching for the black man. Messenger said that Master Farad Muhammad can speak 16 languages and write 10. A lot of people might say, why can he only speak 16 and write 10? Our response would be, show us your God.
Yes, sir.
Show us the God that can speak all the languages. And show us the God who resurrected the black man. Obviously, 16 languages and writing 10 was all he needed to know to be the all-wise, true and living God.
Yes, sir. Praise be
They
to
do to
Allah.
Allah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because Yacub made a problem that only God could solve. Yacub grabbed the devil, robbed the black man of a knowledge of self. The prophecy says we will be a people robbed and spoiled.
Yes, sir. That's right.
That's the black man. In 1555, John Hawkins robbed the black man of a knowledge of self.
Yes, sir.
He brought us to the house of Israel, where we served these devils for 400 years. I was listening to the messenger. He was talking about Abraham. He said that when the prophecy was made to Abraham, know for a surety that thy seed will be strangers in the land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them 400 years.
Yes, sir.
And God says that nation will I judge. And God is supposed to come and search for his sheep. So the messenger said that when that prophecy was made to Abraham, he said the white race was in the caves and hillsides of Europe. He said it wasn't no such thing as a Jew during that time. So Abraham couldn't have been a Jew.
Right.
There was no Jews. So the messenger said the white race's false claim to divinity. The messenger said God blessed the white race. God blessed the devil. He said he did not deprive them of right guidance. So the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, He said that the scientists sent prophets to the right race to try to keep them on the right path. That's why it says in the Quran, it says, call to mind the favor that I gave to you.
Yes, sir.
This is what them bus stop Israelites, when they on the sidewalk
Yes, sir.
with them black people who are not qualified to argue with you. Once they read that in the Quran, say, well, your God, why would your God give all this favor to the Israelites if we not God's people? The messenger says, when Allah destroys the white race, he will be justified.
That's right. Yes, sir.
He said he's not going to take one day away from the white man. He said nobody interfered with them. Nobody.
Yes, sir.
God sent them prophets. God raised them on top above all other nations. But they still ruled the black man under slavery. Robbed the black man of a knowledge of self.
Yes, sir.
The black man is poor under plenty. The messenger said.
Yes, sir.
So when Allah in the Holy Quran tells this devil, he says, call to mind the favor I gave to you. The same thing them executors gonna say to us.
Yes, sir.
When them executors come to destroy the black man who follow the devil, they gonna say, call to mind the favor we gave to you.
Yes, sir.
God came and raised a messenger for the black man.
That's right.
One from among ourselves to teach a deaf, dumb, and blind people.
Yes, sir.
So before they destroy us, who reject the messenger, they gonna remind us like they remind the white race. Call to mind all the prophets we sent to you. Call to mind all the prophets you murdered. Call to mind when you took my people and made slaves out of them. Call to mind the fact you had the best. You had the Torah. You had the gospel. But you tampered with the gospel.
Yes, sir.
You tampered with the Torah. So before these bombs drop on you, call to mind the favor. Because we're not doing you unjust. It's justice to destroy the whole white race.
That's right. Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir.
Whole race of Israel must be destroyed. Messenger says all the prophets, all the scientists agree that the only solution would be to take this race off the planet.
Yes, sir.
That's the only solution.
Right.
The messenger said since the white man, he said at first, when Adam was in the garden, they was able to cast Adam out into the worst parts of the earth. But the messenger says the enemy is in all parts of the earth now. You can't hide him nowhere. He said he's the skunk of the planet Earth.
That's right. Yes, sir.
He leaves his smell everywhere he goes. So now you gotta take the white man off the planet.
Yes, sir.
Because the messenger said the original black man, to get some peace, they cast all the devils they can find out into the caves and hillsides of Europe as a punishment for the white race for causing trouble in heaven for 6 months.
Yes, sir.
The messenger said the white race is disagreeable to live with in peace. He said even in heaven, they accuse the righteous people, causing them to fight and kill one another.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Right in heaven. So the message, he said that the white race spent 2,000 years in the caves and hillsides of Europe. They lost all knowledge of themselves. He said they went savage and began to crawl on their hands and feet like other wild animals. He said that they sent Moses into the caves and hillsides of Europe to civilize the white race.
Yes, sir.
He was the one who civilized them.
That's right.
Moses never went to Egypt to save no Israelites. Moses went into the caves and hillsides of Europe to civilize the white man.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So the messenger said that Moses taught the white man the technology that Yacub taught. Told him how to build a home. Told him how to cook his food. And told him how to master the original man.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Because the messenger said they was not going to take one day away from the right race. So Jacob wrestled with the angel. He made his race. They spent 2,000 years in the caves and hillsides of Europe. But as a mercy, God sent Moses to the death.
That's right. Yes, sir.
That's some of that favor that God did to the death. Favor that he sent to the Israelites. So Moses civilized the white man. So the messenger said that Moses' civilization lasted for 1,700 years. He said it was supposed to last for 2,000 years up until Jesus. But he said the last 300 years came Nimrod.
Yes, sir.
Nimrod broke the civilization of Moses. And the white man went back savage. So when they heard that Jesus was going to be born, they wanted to kill Jesus. Because they had tampered with the Torah. They had tampered with God's law. So by the time Jesus came, they didn't want to hear nothing Jesus had to say.
Yes, sir.
Just like these Israelites was with Muhammad. They didn't accept Moses, they didn't accept Jesus, and they didn't accept Muhammad. So Jesus came on the scene, telling these Israelites, I bring you the same law that Moses brought.
Yes, sir.
He said, if you love God, if God was your father, you would love me. I'm telling you the same thing Moses said.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you the same thing all the prophets said that you murdered and killed. So the white race killed Jesus. They didn't want to hear nothing that Jesus had to say.
Yes, sir.
These Israelites murdered Jesus because they are a race of devils.
Yes, sir. That's right.
It's in their nature to go against God. The messenger asked us the question. He said, why did God make death? He said to show him that he's all wise, true, and living, and has power to build a devil that can rule the black man for 6,000 years. Then he can destroy the devil in one day without falling victim to his civilization. That way we know Allah's God. He always been God and he always will be God.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Praise due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
That's why God made the devil. Yacub say, I know what you know not. The true and living God was coming on the scene. Messenger said it's the first time the true knowledge of God has ever been taught in the public. He said the true knowledge of God has been kept a secret for trillions of years. He said that secret knowledge was only passed from father to son, and it never exceeded 12 men at a time. So now we live in the age where we know who the true and living God is.
Yes, sir.
His name is Master Farad Muhammad.
That's right. Yes, sir.
He is the true and living God. He will show his power by destroying the devil in one day. That's why the messenger says, all those who do not submit to the will of Master Farad Muhammad will be destroyed.
That's right. Yes, sir.
No more of that serving God like I want to, doing like I want to. All people will submit to the will of Master Farad Muhammad.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Messenger says Master Farad Muhammad has the power to force us all to submit,
Yes, sir.
the whole world to submit.
Yes, sir.
He said that's why the Bible says, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that he is Lord.
Yes, sir.
In this 1967 Savior's Day, the messenger was talking about black people. He was saying how that Allah is going to force the devil to lick the dust of the ground. That's what the messenger say, how low Allah going to bring the devil. So he said, who are you who are following the devil? And you refusing Allah. He said, if Allah has the power to make the devil lick the dust of the ground, who are you?
Yes, sir.
Who are you to reject his message? And you just following the devil. The devil got the power. And Allah gonna make his knee bow.
Yes, sir.
Make his tongue confess that Master Farad Muhammad is Lord.
Yes, sir.
Pray due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir. All praises to Allah. Yes, sir.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful. So, Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, thee alone do we serve, and thee alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path of those upon whom thou spill thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is to be served worth to praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was that true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.